Ladies and gentleweebs, my fellow flames of amethyst, welcome back to another discussion video for Wuthering Waves. My name is the Amethyst Abrams, and today I want to discuss with you guys the character companion story quests within Wuthering Waves and where are the rest of them. And what I mean by that is not every character in the game at the moment has a companion story quest. There isn't one for Calcharo, the majority of the 4 stars don't have them, and I want to ask and discuss why that is. Why don't we have a companion story quest for characters like Calcharo, characters like Yuan, you know, like other 4-star characters in the roster as well? Like, where's Motifi or Mortifi or Mortify, whatever his name is? Where does his character companion story quest come into it? Because all of these characters, if you look through their lore, have very good backstories, very good origin stories, and deserves an extension to that, which would be their character companion story quest. Yuan owns his own kickboxing gym and helps everyone all over Jinzhou harness their anger, emotions, and helps the community out to the best of his ability. He is one of the most powerful resonators in the Wuthering Waves lore. If you look at his lore, he is one of the most self-controlled and powerful resonators currently that we know of in the world of Wuthering Waves. We have Calcharo. Where the hell is Calcharo's story quest? He's a mercenary that doesn't have a companion story quest, but he's one of the most mysterious characters in the entire game. Why don't we have a companion story quest for characters like Calcharo? If you look at his lore is absolutely amazing. He was the leader of a mercenary group, later turned against that mercenary group, and then created a new mercenary group. And he was the leader of both. And also, the only thing he accepts as payment is, I think, a shell credit or 1 seashell, or he accepts one specific item that is very easy to gain as payment for doing a specific job for his client, and the only thing he asks for in return is their loyalty to him and information. So if they have any information that might be important to him in his line of work, that's it. That's the only thing he asks for, is loyalty and dedication and information, which I think is really, really cool and would be something really, really cool to explore. Can you imagine Calcharo comes to Jinzhou and asks you, look, I have a target and it's you. I am looking for the rover. I've been hired to take you down. So you're either going to come with me now or we're going to have a scrap. You two have a fight. The rover and Calcharo fight. Other resonators get involved to protect Rover, because Rover is obviously the main hero of the story. Calcharo is like, look, it's my job, it's what I do. However, I'm not a man. I'm not a man without morals. Let's see if we can work something out, and then I'll be able to tell you and help you take down the person that's hired me to kill you, or take you down, or take you in. How cool would that be? Or maybe not that specific story, but a story that involves Rover and Calcharo, and there's a reason why Calcharo has shown himself and revealed himself, and you have to either assist him or you're against him, and then he's foe turned friend, or friend turned foe, or something like that. That would be really, really cool. There's other characters as well, like we've got Tao Chi that doesn't have a story, Yang doesn't have her own origin story, Chisia doesn't have her own origin story, Mortify doesn't have his own origin story. Like, where are these characters' origin story? Does Encore have a character story? I don't even know I can't actually remember if I did an Encore story or not. Does Encore have a story? Does Verena have a story? I can't even remember if some of these characters have companion stories. And I think these characters are deserving of, if they haven't already received, character companion story quests. Because if there's one thing I've realized that KURO is good at doing, is writing characters, writing lore. Whether or not they have character companion quests or not, if you look in the archives, in the character menus, their lore is rich. They have such rich lore and such potential to be told stories about these characters. It's kind of silly for them not to do that. Calcharo, Yuan, Tao Chi, Mortify, loads of these characters, 4 stars and 5 stars, deserves to have their stories told. And I think it would be absolutely ludicrous for them not to do that. Now, whether or not these characters are going to come into the story later on, maybe calcharo is planned later down the road to intervene in the story or have a part to play in the story. But I'd very much like to know where he has been throughout the entirety of 1.0 to present day story in 1.2. And why he hasn't revealed himself, and if there's a significant reason why. I want to know why in the 1.0 story we only saw characters like Yuan Wu for seconds, like 10 seconds of screen time all in all, and Yuan Wu's only line is to Jinshi, "Don't worry, I'll make sure they get home safe," or something along those lines. Why would he say a line directly to the magistrate of such importance and such sincerity if we haven't had any other line or anything else to do with Yuan Wu, unless you seek it out yourself in the character archive, is beyond me. Because like, those who don't know, like Yuan Wu is such an important character to the world of Jinzhou. He stopped himself from overclocking because he suffered a great loss that doesn't specifically say what loss he went through, whether it was a loss of a loved one, or whether he was pushed to the edge in combat, whether something happened in Jinzhou that made him have no choice but to lose control. Like, we don't know this, but these characters like Yuan Wu that have such rich lore behind them needs to be told, or an extension of this lore needs to be told so they can reference it. That way we kind of know more about the character specifically. Because otherwise I think it would be quite a waste, and I think KURO Games is either working on these character development stories, or they have plans for them in the future, or they just didn't think. They just didn't think, and they were like, you know what, we didn't think about it, we can't just put the characters in there just because. Because don't forget, KURO Games also rewrote 80% of the original story script, not 100%. I think it's 70 to 80% of the script they rewrote, which means 20 to 30% of the script was intact. Like, do you guys remember the CBT fight between Crownless and Rover? It was insane. Crownless came in, took down the whole crew, and then battered Rover, and then Rover awakened his power, or her power, depending on who you chose, and then you scrap, and then you fly around the map, and you crash through boulders and barriers and blockades, and cliff faces get destroyed, and there's rubble and debris everywhere. But in the actual opening to Crownless's introduction, it wasn't bad, but it was significantly toned down, and it was really disappointing to see the fact that what I wanted from the Crownless fight didn't happen. There's obviously reasons behind that, but it's kind of a shame that some of the good stuff that was in the original script didn't make it to the final cut, and that does upset me a bit. So maybe characters that we've seen that don't get flushed out in the story, like Yuan Wu, Taochi, Mortify, Yang Yang, Chixia, etc., maybe in the original script, in the original 70 to 80% that was rewrote, maybe there's more to them than that, because it's kind of strange having these characters in game and not giving them a backstory or a character development story or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's quite odd for them not to do something like that. But like I said, they're probably cooking in the kitchen, or it was rewritten and unfortunately didn't make it to the final cut, or they plan to incorporate these characters in a larger story, in like an all-inclusive story in the future, where they all have their own roles to play in that specific story, and their own little bit of dialogue and their own little tiny bit of lore here and there, but it's for an overarching story, not just their story specifically, if you know what I mean. But that's just my opinion. This is just my opinion. I wanted to sort of bring this up to you guys because it's something that's been weighing on my mind, because it doesn't make sense that there's all of these interesting characters with interesting backstory and lore, and only half of the roster have companion story quests. It's insane to me. It's insane to me. I can't quite comprehend why that isn't the case. But like I said, that's why you have really good lore videos out there like Ufi TV. I do a little bit of character lore as well. Ufi TV Me and her are becoming good friends, by the way. Amazing content creator. I recommend you go and check her out. She streams quite frequently, 2 to 3 times a week, I believe, maybe more. She focuses on the world lore. I focus on character-specific lore. I only have 2 lore videos out, which consists of Yuan Wu and Geshu Lin, but I do plan to do more. But those character lore videos take time and effort, and a lot of takes, and a lot of chopping together different takes to complete the whole video. So I will be doing a lore video for calcharo. I will be doing a lore video for Jan. I will be doing a lore video for Jinshi, Changli, Zhangli Yao, Shorekeeper, who releases very, very soon in 1.3. We are 3 weeks away from the announcement and proper information of 1.3 with Shorekeeper. I hope we get some more companion story quests going forward added in each update, because that would be really, really interesting for me. Another thing as well, characters like Jinshi that didn't get a specific character story, the reason for that is that main quest, that 1.1 main update quest, was Jinshi's story quest, but in an overarching story. So her origin and her story was implemented into the overarching story of Mount Firmament in 1.1. So they can do an overarching story and incorporate these characters into the main arcing story to make them more interesting, to give them a backstory, to give them more insight, to give them more character development, and to make them more interesting. So they can do it. It's just a matter of how, when, and where it's going to take place. You know, like you can't have an Avengers level moment at the end of 1.0 where all of the resonators are standing in a line, defending and holding the line, which was really, really cool. But I couldn't quite feel the full effects because I didn't know half of the characters that were standing there. You know, like we spoke to Chao-Chi briefly before the fight happened. We obviously had the Ling Yang story quest. We knew of a few others as well, like only a couple, but there's others that we didn't know as well. Like there's other characters that we didn't know that were in the Avengers group, which is quite interesting to me. Like, you know, it didn't really make sense to me. But hey ho, who knows what's going to happen in the future? They could implement their stories in the future and add the stories and add them into the main arcing story. I hope so. This video was sort of like me just asking your opinion and discussing why and what they could do with these characters and why they currently don't have them in game. And I just wanted to sort of talk to you guys and chat to you guys about these character companion missions and why KURO Games needs to address this in some form or fashion of main story and implementation of these side characters into the main story, or they need to slowly per patch drop a few companion story quests about these characters because they're interesting. They're so interesting, and it's a shame that we haven't seen the lore in game or visual format. It's just you have to read it like a novel or read it like scriptures, which is cool if you're a person like me or Oofy TV, where we do lore videos for you guys because of the lack of lore levels and lore content out there, you know. I enjoy doing them anyway, so it doesn't bother me. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. Really quick before I end the video, I am going to be on holiday over the next 5 days. So when this video drops, I'm either just about to leave for holiday or I'm already on holiday, which means that these videos were scheduled to release on this specific day of release. So it could be 3 days from now, it could be 24 hours from now, I don't know. But if this video goes up within the next 2 to 3 days minimum, it means I'm most likely on holiday. It's currently the 29th. I'm going on holiday I'm going on holiday tomorrow night on the 30th. So if this video doesn't be out by tomorrow night, this video will be out after that while I'm away, and I will be back to make videos on the 5th of September. That's when I come back from holiday. It's a well-needed break for my family. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that, because just in case a lot of you subscribers go, oh, he's gone radio silent. I am going on holiday. I will make a post about it as well. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.